Yeah. So basically, if people I haven't met here, was anybody at Vodka Revolution when they did the induction? I recognise a few of you there, yeah. So I spoke a little bit about Industry Link. I'm just kind of reintroducing it now that you're here and you know what you're doing and what's going on, about the kind of stuff that's kind of available to you and to get involved in. This is a great class because there is so much for performers. Everyone thinks Industry Link is just for people performing, but it's not. It's actually for everyone. But I think you guys have some great opportunities, okay? So I'm going to run through the list and then I'll take questions afterwards and I'll let you know anything you need to know about us. But first of all, I'll tell you what we do, okay, is we basically do 150 events per term across 3 campuses, okay? You can go to any campus and do an event. Right? It's just about if you want to get there and it's your travel, okay? So there you go. First of all, the whole of the ACM network is open to you, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're a vocalist, a drummer, a guitarist, a business person, anything like that, you can be involved, okay? Because it's co-curricular, so it means that it's not credit bearing and it doesn't matter what you do when you do it, okay? So for instance, be a vocalist, you could be playing on the main stage at Victoria's Festival, you could be lugging an amp in the field, you could be going to a business seminar, you could be playing trombone in a band up in Birmingham, right? You can do anything, okay? So anything's open for you, okay? And it goes any time in ACM while you're here, so from the diploma in Guildford right up to the end of your degree. And when you finish your degree, you can still get involved by being alumni. So you can still get booked on bands. So you probably saw in Freshers Week, there's a lot of alumni playing on the gigs because they're out there now. They're doing really well. They've released records. We bring them back in. You can still book tutorials and you can come to masterclasses as well if you email us. So that's a great thing. So you don't lose the link because probably the most important thing you will find here and when you leave is your network. Right? And I love this line because I stole it straight off MC Biggie when he came in. He said, your network is your net worth. And it's really true. If you don't know anyone in music, it's very hard to get anywhere. If you've got lots of people around you, you never know when it's going to happen. Someone will ring you up and say, hey, I've got a job. Do you want to be involved? Like that. So, I was talking to Beanie from Rudimental. It's the same thing. He was at college with those guys. Right? And one day they had Rudimental all set up and they rang him up and they said, dude, do you want to join the band? Because he was at the music college with them. So it does come back, okay? So the things we do, okay, in our 150 events, which is a lot, okay, is first of all, we do masterclasses. So as you know, I was just speaking to some of you guys about, I came in, we were learning an Amy Winehouse song. Let's get Zan Black in, he's the player from Amy Winehouse's band, okay? He was in here in Freshers Week. Some of you may have seen him. So, we bring guests in and we have guest lectures as well. So we put guest lectures within your lecture. You'll get someone that's specific to what you're learning that week. So if you're learning a certain technique or style, it doesn't matter what discipline you're doing, we'll find someone who's actually out there, who's a good player, a serious professional, and put them in the class, okay? Come on in. That's okay. So we have that. So we have masterclass and guest lectures. Who came to Corey Wong last week? Okay, a couple of them. It was amazing, wasn't it? Whoever came to Corey Wong, it was amazing, okay? So we have special masterclasses like that just pop up, and we also have the ones that are in the guest lectures, okay? The next thing we do is, so if you think of it from where you're coming from as artists, okay, let's think about things like radio sessions, okay? So radio sessions as artists, you can have your music playlisted. So we've got 3 or 4 radio stations that we submit tracks to every week that they playlist, okay? A couple of them do live sessions as well. So you can be doing live sessions, you can have your music playlisted. We also have a couple of Spotify lists as well, Industry Link ones as well. And we put music on the stairwells in the colleges, so the music gets played there as well. So you've got proper radio exposure, okay, and sessions you can be involved in. You can also, someone came to me after a lesson last week when I spoke about this and said, I want to be a presenter. And I was, well, you know what, let me get in touch with Eagle Radio. We've got a show there. You might be like the word on the street. Oh, going in every week, right? There you go. It was that exciting. So you might be, I said to her, why don't you do a podcast or be like the word on the street for the radio station for ACM bands that are playing? So she's like, great. So I've hooked her up with the radio station, okay? Someone came in to me earlier on and said, I need a job, right? But I want to be surrounded by music. I'm like, well, we have all these things posted up, but Metropolis Studios, they've got a receptionist job, and they've got a bar job. Let's see if we can get you hooked up to that, okay? So there's all different sides of it, okay? We also deal with, I personally deal with, the industry partnerships, right? So, you know when you see like amps and things around here, drum kits, amps, right? Well, Tama, Nexi pedals, Laney amps, things like that. It's not just gear, right? What it is when you think about it, it's sponsorships. So we've got some artists here actually sponsored by some of the brands. It's jobs, you know, as demonstrators or working in the company. It's artists coming in for masterclasses as well. It's social media exposure. It's blog writing. So sponsorships is not just a piece of gear. It's all the things that come with it as well. So we deal with those, and every now and then I will set people up with jobs within those sponsors, okay? So if you're a guitarist and you say, I want to be a demonstrator, for instance, maybe I can go, well, I'll put you on on my radar. When something comes up, I can hook you up, okay? So we do that. We do internships and placements. So when jobs come up in Sony, AIM, any of those kind of places, Music Gateway, we place people in those jobs. You don't have to be a business student to do a business placement. It helps, probably, but we have people doing business placements who are not business students, okay? If you're into it and you really want to do it, that's the drive. That's usually how you get in there, okay? That usually comes through places like us, and then business tutors like Mike McNally and Dave Cronin as well. They're on the radar. But I will talk to you about the new improved Music Gateway, because everything's going on that. So I'll talk to you about that at the end. Okay, networking events. Has anyone heard about the Tar Yard event? The Tar Yard event is on the 25th of October. It's free. It's at Tar Yard and King's Cross. So it's like 10 minutes. It's a nice safe walk from the station. 6 o'clock till 10. Right, and it's one of those places where all the record company people go, and everyone gives out their business cards, and they all network, right? That's what it's about. But we also sponsor it, so it means you can go for free as an artist, for instance. It's free to everybody, right? But you can go for free as an artist and meet people, network, but you can also play there, right, and be seen by all the record company. So we've got 3 bands on, or 3 artists on 25th, for instance. We put in 3 artists every time they do a networking event. Their events can range from 200 to 800 people, and it's all the industry people. So you can be involved as an artist, or you can just go and hang out and meet people, you know, and or go and support your ACM art as well. So networking events really good. There's one here in London, there's one in Birmingham. I was at the Birmingham one, right? If ever you're in the area and you feel like a little trip, it's fab, right? Same thing, our artists on there, but it's a whole new network. Birmingham is super exciting at the moment for music, because it's like just surfacing as a new kind of force. They're just putting it all together. And so we're involved with the Custard Factory, we're involved with the Birmingham Music Awards as well. We're like creative directors on there. So we put bands into that as well, and artists, okay? So great networking events. So this is really interesting one for you guys, gigs and festivals, okay? How many people want to play live here? Practically everyone. So amazing, right? So what we have is we have 15 venues around the country that we hire. We pay for the venue, we pay for the PA, it's free to get in, right? And we pay for the sound person as well, or we put the sound person in ourselves, right? Most of the time the back line is included. You just turn up with your, you know, your guitars and your sticks and things like that, or your microphone. And then you get to play a gig in a really good place. There's none of this pay-to-play rubbish. It's a safe environment. You can invite all of your friends, so it means you can build a network fan base for free, right? If you're doing something really good, you can do a showcase. You can launch your records there. We do that all the time. People say, I've got to launch my EP. And we're like, well, book into an Industry Link gig, you know? And if you're really clever, you can go around the country in a circle, because out of those 15 venues, we book 10 every month, right? So there's 10 venues every month booked and paid for by us. And there's 3 bands per venue, right? So you're talking like 30 gigs a month for Industry Link. So it means that you could say, I'm going to build up in Guildford, because it's a college town. There's a lot of music people there. There's a base. I'm going to build up in London, because this is where the industry is. I'm going to go up to Birmingham, because that's the new scene, right? And you could just do that. It means we can't pay for your travel, right? But what we can do is give you a comfortable experience. And then if you don't want to book into the gigs, or you're not ready for the gigs, there's 2 things you can do. You can either help out. So I want to help out behind the scenes. You could be doing lights. You could be helping set up the place, or just help the organisers. Or just go there. Just hang out. Because that's where you see all the good stuff. You meet the people. You meet fellow friends and ACM people. Next thing you know, you're in a band yourself. right? Because you're in that network. But also, I found one of the best learning experiences ever for me was when I was first doing the band, well, my band, Skunk, right? Before that, I actually opened a club in London, right, with 2 friends, because we wanted to beat that pay-to-play thing back in the early 90s. So we changed the system where bands didn't have to pay, but we had to run it ourselves. So one night, it was 3 nights a week. One night I'd do the door, right? Another day I'd stage manage, and the other day I would do the lights, right? When I did the door, I met everybody, right? So I let everyone in free, basically. Classic one, I'm on tour in Australia playing with Tool, right? Tool's my favourite band. We play, we come off, Tool goes on, bass player comes up to me, goes, "Hey mate, how's it going?" I'm like, "How do I know you?" And he goes, "You used to let me in your club free all the time." So there you go, right? There's a classic one. So I knew all the bands, I knew all the agents in the bands, right? Then I was a stage manager on the next day, so I used to set up all the show. So I was really good on how to set up a stage for my own benefit, right? Me being in a band, so all my gear sounded wicked, I had no noise, all that kind of thing. And then when I did the lights, that was amazing, because when I did lights, I got to watch 3 bands every night. And I used to go, "That looks good, that looks bad, I like that, I'll nick that, that's a cool looking top." And I just basically had this amazing array of bands to just kind of, you know, learn from and kind of nick all the good bits and see all the bad bits. So working in a club was actually really, really amazing. So Industry Link gigs, as I said, you can be involved in all different levels. It will expand you as a musician. It can also, you know, help your career, okay? So that's gigs, loads of them. If you want to book a gig, you just email us, right? industrylink@acm.ac.uk. Okay. If you want to find someone in person, Yas comes here. So Yasmin, that's YASMIN, no E on the end. That's at ACM as well. She's the local Industry Link person here. I'm here usually once a week. I go around all the campuses. So the great thing is, because I'm in all the campuses in Metropolis, I really do know what's going on. So I can place things really easy. So you can email me as well, just ace at ACM, okay? So we've got those gigs. Next thing is festivals. We get involved 10 to 15 festivals every year, right? You can sign up for those as well. Same thing, you could be on the main stage, you could be on an acoustic stage, or you can be lugging an amp backstage, okay? Or you could be working on the social media campaign with the organisers, okay? For instance, Great Escape, we have these delegate passes and people all go down and work on the Great Escape for the weekend. Victorious, they do the media. Boomtown, we get a main stage slot. We sponsor some, we actually put some on our own stages as well. So that's really good. So that's Industry Link. Email us again. The person, if you can remember, his name is Khan, K-A-A-N. He's our festival guy, but he picks it up through the Industry Link email, okay? Lots of festivals, amazing. We also do specials as well, like award ceremonies, okay, and showcase events. So for instance, the Great Escape, we will put on a whole night. We'll hire a venue at the Great Escape Festival in Brighton, which is the big music business thing, and we'll put like about, I don't know, 6 or 7 bands on, plus about 6 or 7 side acts as well. And we'll run the whole night, and we invite all the music industry down, and we give them free drinks, and we make them watch our artists, right? So to play at things like that, that's really, really important. Birmingham Music Awards, we had 3 or 4 acts in last year, so we've got a big stronghold on that because we helped them set it up. Right, so that's another word of advice. If you ever see an embryonic situation that you can get your foot in the door, get in there, because if you're right on the front end of something, usually, you know, it works to your advantage. So Birmingham Music Awards, that's coming up again next year. I'm actually meeting them next Tuesday to sort out the next row of stuff. And they're involved in the Birmingham networking events as well. So award ceremonies and specials, okay? So that's Industry Link in a nutshell. So what you've got to remember is it's not just about playing a gig, it's about everything around it, and it's also about all the business seminars and the free tickets and things that we can get hold of, right? I'll tell you how to get that in a second. The next thing we're doing is Tobacco Dock. Off the top of my head, don't quote me on this, I think it's the 8th of November. It's around about that time, it's a weekend. It's Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We have got 500 free tickets, right, across Friday and Saturday. We're going to give them away, okay? It's going to be first come, first serve, and they're going to be on the reception by next week, okay? But we'll message everyone out about that. Yeah, so you can get like, it's like 1 per person, and as soon as, you know, we've got to share that between our students, so, you know, it's first come, so remember if you want to go there. And that is 3 days of everything. It's Tobacco Dock, it's like music, Spotify, Radio 1, all the products, all the brands, listening sessions, the DJs are there. It's a proper big event, okay? So if you want to get involved in that and come to it, we've also got like 3 days of ACM acts booked already that have been working with us on a waiting list to do some special event. So that's happening as well. We've got our own room there, so it's going to be really nice. I will be there. There's panels. I'm doing panels in the daytime in our room and also in the main arena as well. So Tobacco Doc coming up. Keep your eyes peeled for that. You get your email every week that says things that are going on. So on Friday, there's an email that comes out with all the posters from Industry Link. Keep your eye out for that. We'll have that as well. So the last thing, there's two last things. One is Music Gateway, which I'm going to show you now, which is our own private network. And the other one is the record company, right? So first of all, Music Gateway, I haven't got a big screen, so I will just do it here and you can kind of get the gist, right? Music Gateway is our own private network within a global network, right? Has anybody joined Music Gateway here? One person, okay, right, so it's been revamped, okay? So if I go to my ACM, right, and I go here, right, like the page, and then I press more, there's a little sign here saying Music Gateway, right? So if I click on Music Gateway, okay, it should, in theory, if I get it right, come on, load up, there you go. It loads up to this very boring looking screen, right? Which is your dashboard, right? So basically what you've got a private network. It's across, there's about 3,500 students on it at the moment, the people here and the alumni, okay? And what they do is you can collaborate. You can say, I want to form a band, I want to do this, I need a singer, I need mixes done. All this collaboration is going on between these people. You get a workspace, which means like data area, where you can put files and you can send files. You make your own profile, like you would say with Facebook, with your picture and your music, and you get people involved, okay? So that's a private collaboration network. That's what it started off as within a global jobs network, okay? So I had a word with them and I said, this is amazing, but it's too complicated for us. Nobody really gets it, right? Where they don't know where to go on this site with all this information. So now we've turned it into this super jobs highway. So this is kind of brand new today. So there's a few changes coming. Right, what you will get is if you look on your thing, you'll go to a thing called opportunities, right? So you have your own network and your files and all these kind of things. You can post your own projects, right? But when you go to opportunities now, there's a drop-down menu. Great thing is, as soon as you click on the first one, it comes up as a tab on the top. So the first tab here, look, is called ACM Projects. And in there, look, we can see people, vocalists looking for a band, jazz acts needing members, free auditions for IMTA, you know, looking for a band. And then you'll see these Industry Link posts. They're like jobs, auditions, free tickets, seminars. Anything that comes into our office, we will post up there, okay? Right, then, the cool thing about this, the next thing is Marketplace. Marketplace you have to pay for, but we're getting 3-year subscriptions for everyone. So it means you can be free on there and do the job. So if we go to Marketplace now, Marketplace has this thing, which has, when it comes up, it's very slow up here, isn't it? Proper jobs, right? Look, urgent, $3,000 to $5,000 dollars for dreamy African and Middle Eastern tracks, right? You can pitch on these, right? And you can win the pitches and you can get the money from them. So it's a paid global marketplace. Look, you know, $2,000 to $4,000 fun, mid-tempo, jaunty retro tracks needed. They buy the license, they use them for adverts, right? I've even seen Eminem on here for backing tracks. And 50 Cent have put stuff on here. And that's like $40,000, things like that. So that's a global marketplace, okay? Simple, it's all in one page under opportunities. Loads and loads of them on there, right? So you'll get a free subscription to get on the first tier of that, okay? Then, this is kind of cool. There's a jobs board, global jobs board. So look, it's like manager for Symphonic, A&R, job, head of artist label marketing for Spotify, digital sales manager. So this is like proper world jobs here. So if if you're leaving and you want a job in the industry, there's a jobs board there. And then the last one here, it's called notice board. Oops, I pressed the wrong one. Right, I went to the wrong thing, didn't I? Go back. There we go. So if I go to notice board now, notice board is empty because what notice board is going to become is the Industry Link one. So I'm going to separate it in the next couple of days because it's brand new. So this will be all Industry Link opportunities will be there. You know, free tickets, auditions, blah, 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 and have an Industry Link logo on it. And the other side will just be student projects because at the moment they're mixed together because that's how it was made. But now they've made this new platform, we're going to swap it. So it just means if you go to Music Gateway, you sign in through your MyACM, you click on opportunities, the bars come across the top, it's a super jobs highway, right? And it's really interesting, and it's all free, and your subscription is going to be free to the marketplace and all that stuff. So that's Music Gateway. If you have any problems on it, just email us, okay? But I think it should just load your email in it, and you just click it, and it just signs you up, right, on the platform on MyACM, okay? So we've got that, and then the last thing before the question is Metropolis Blue. Who's heard about Metropolis Blue? Quite a lot of people. Well, Metropolis Blue has a few aspects, right? One is there's working on the label team. Two, there's like being an A&R scout, so that's like finding the bands and bringing them to the team. You know, we consider signing. So there's a proper record label because all the mixing and mastering and everything is all done in Metropolis, and we've got outlets for it and distribution, the whole lot, okay? So we have a label team. So you could apply to be on that team or be part of it for a few months and do some learning, or you can be an artist on Metropolis Blue. At the moment, we've got our team scouting, right, because they're looking for ACM artists, artists and alumni, okay? But you could be an artist yourself. You can just submit your stuff to us, and we'll put it on our A&R Scout listening panel, okay? So if you've got tracks that you like, you know, links to them, you can just email us, okay? It's blue@thisismetropolis.com, and just say, I'm emailing you my track to check out. And if you've got like a date or a gig to do around it, put that on it as well, because that means that we can come down, or the team can come down and watch you, and they can report back and go, they're awesome, we want to do this. So Blue is either being involved as a record label or as an artist, either one, right? We've even got people on the label who've submitted their stuff as an artist and said, if I get signed, I'll duck out the label, you know, and I'll be the artist. So it's for everybody, Metropolis Blue. So just blue@thisismetropolis.com is the address to get involved in that. So that's the Industry Link. And then the other thing is the divide of ADCO, right? Because we're so closely linked, right? Does anybody know much about ADCO? It's a couple of hands. Okay, right. So I'm going to explain it to the group. Okay, ADCO and Industry Link are very close. In fact, we share the same office a lot of the time, but we're two different things, right? Imagine Industry Link is outside of the building, right? All of those clubs, bars, venues, experiences, they're actually in the real world, right? They're for you to get experience. It's outside, right? ADCO's inside. ADCO is like the special sauce, right, for you guys as artists. I could come in the class and say, everybody's got to write a middle eight like this, and your lyrics should be this. It wouldn't apply to all of you, would it, right, as artists? It only applied to the one person I was directing it at. So ADCO is a bespoke tutorial service to help you develop as artists. It can you can talk about your branding, your fashion, as well as your middle eight, your choruses, your structures, your sounds, your lyrics, your melody, the whole lot. They're about working with the artist to get the best out of who they are, right? And that's what ADCO is. So it's a bit like a pre-production kind of service in a way. And when you want to go to ADCO, you just email them. It's ADCO, adco@acm.ac.uk. They come back, you get a tutorial. It can be with your band, it can be as an artist. It doesn't really matter. And they'll work with you to develop you. So it's very important. So as I said, I always say, like, you've got the talent, you've got the stuff going on. ADCO comes and puts like the special sauce on it. What Industry Link is, it's like the shelf then. We put you on the shelf for the public to consume that special sauce, all right? So, and the way we work with ADCO is because we're always around each other, I will say to Kieran, for instance, who's the hottest person you got in ADCO at the moment? Because I've got like a premier slot on an award ceremony, right? And he'll go, well, these guys or this girl has been really working hard. They've done some recording. They've got this going on. They've got this going on. They'd be really well placed for that, right? Or we might say, we're doing a showcase event, and Kieran might say, I want a ADCO showcase event. All the bands and the artists working at the moment are really good. We'll actually put them all on one event, like The Great Escape has a lot of ADCO acts on it, for instance. Also, the other thing they do is downtime. So if you're working with them and you've got your stuff together, they put you on a list to record in Metropolis for free, right? And that happens all of the time. Most weekends, people are in Metropolis recording for free. That goes through ADCO, so that doesn't go through Industry Link. So there's two separate things. We're interlinked because we both deal with artists and we get them gigs and opportunities, but they're in here, we're out there, okay? And that's in a nutshell, it's not very much of a nutshell, what we're all about, okay? So, has anyone got questions for me about this?
For Industry Link festivals, you have to be a band or can you be a solo artist to play?
Great question, right? For festivals, you don't have to be a band or a solo artist or anything. You can play to a backing track. You could be doing it on an iPad. You could be acoustic, piano player, you know, or you could be a full-on heavy metal band or a DJ. We do loads of DJ slots, and there's loads of students at ACM that DJ that are across all disciplines. Okay, so, and there's stacks of those slots all the time. So we can place you wherever. Kingston Youth Festival, if you're quite starting off level, right, and you're a bit worried, you know, am I good enough to be on that kind of big stage? You know, we can place you in something like Kingston Youth, which is like 20 minutes, singer-songwriter, acoustic stuff. If you're really banging, we will put you up for the top slot of the main festival. So we'll help to place you as well on that. Other questions? Very quiet. A lot of people ask me, how do I sign up for it? The thing about Industry Link is you don't sign up for it. It's not like you go, here, I'm going to put my name down for Industry Link. You just come to us when you need us, right? Which is, to be honest, your whole career. Right? From the day you come to the day you end, and beyond, there's always something you can get involved in. Even if it's like, someone said to me the other day, I'm not ready to play gigs, right? And I haven't got my music together, I haven't got songs and all this sort, but I want to be involved, what can I do? And I said, well, why don't you come and help out at the gigs? Set the gigs up and be a helper for one of the people, you know, who's putting the gigs on. And they were like, that's great. And I said, and then you get to watch everybody, like as I said, and you see, you can develop from there. Other people might say, oh, is it for me because I'm doing business? I don't know if I'm allowed to play. The answer is yes, you're allowed to play. In fact, one of the most popular bands we had last year, who've left now, were all production students. They weren't performance students, and they were like one of the most popular bands, but they all played, you know, and now actually they've gone off and got signed, which is really amazing. So, and the other thing is masterclasses. We put a lot of masterclasses in. I can't guarantee anything, but I'm always up for suggestions. Sometimes people go to me, I mean, Corey Wong was like, someone came to me and said, I really want to see Volpac, they're in town. And I asked around and someone gave me Corey Wong's number.
Perfect, absolutely perfect that you put Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Very exciting time for the guitarists.
And there's more coming. There's more coming. And as I said, someone emailed me yesterday in Birmingham saying there was this guy. He's really amazing. He's done all this and that. You know, can we get him in our business lesson? And I was like, totally. Just give me his number. And I spoke to the guy. And he goes, I'm up for it. And I said, brilliant. Let's book you into a lesson. So I'm always up for suggestions.
Yeah, it'd be great to get some like vocal workshop. Have you got any in mind? Like in the future?
Vocal workshop. Who have I got? Sarah Brown from Simple Minds.
Oh, great, fantastic.
I spoke to her a couple of days ago. Yeah, I spoke to her literally a couple of days ago. She's just finishing off that tour. She's going to come on in.
Yeah, she's so busy. But
There's a Dinosh Bennett. She's a big one. You know, she does Robbie Williams. Everybody. She's a really big one. Sometimes we have Rihanna Kenny in, who's from Robbie Williams as well. And that's the thing. We can do this, and that's the cool thing about it. That's Industry Link is kind of for you guys. Right, and girls obviously. So it's not about me telling you what you should do and these are the things. It's about you getting involved and coming and asking me. And sometimes people say to me, I want to do a really cool event, right? And they're like, I want to do a really cool event, and I will help them set up the event. You know, feedback, amazing.
yeah.
So any last question before I go and leave you to make some noise?
Yeah, we've got to make some noise, haven't we? We've got 45 minutes to make some noise.
Okay, well look, I hope I'm inspiring you to get stuff going on. You can find me, just Ace. Yaz wanders around the building as well, and Industry Link team will answer anything for you if you email them. Yeah? Thanks guys. Thank you.